For a long time now, I've been trying to get my hands on one of these. If you're looking at the title, you clicked on this video, you understand that it's an ultrasonic cleaner. Well, this I picked up off eBay. It's nice how I got the money. It was money returned to me after something went a little bit south. Nothing really went wrong, it's just, So I got the money back. And the question was, do I take it out and try to spend it in, locally, or do I keep it in PayPal and buy this? So I bought this. And in this series, it seems to also have this VGT-800 that seems to be able to clean CDs and DVDs, any sort of optical media. So if I go to that page, yeah, here we go. Now that looks interesting. That's probably a little bit bigger, but would have cost a little bit more than what I'd be willing to fork out. So I didn't get it. Didn't even find that. I saw this. This wasn't the cheapest one, but it's similar to one I could get locally for like twice the price. So I got it. And this thing was advertised as like a jewelry cleaner. This thing in its manual, it doesn't. I was going to do an unboxing on this. I opened the box up that it came in thinking, oh yes, shipping information's no. Turns out the guy who sent this simply slapped on an address label and sent it out. Bugger. Anyway, let's take a look at this. So first off, I really do like how they're using this to, this is better than using foam. Plastic, not so much, but yeah, everything else has to be in plastic nowadays. It'd be really nice if Apple decided to turn around and start sending this stuff out in cloth, really fine silk or something that's just make it worth what you're spending your money on when you buy a bloody iPhone. Now this in its size is really a bit, you read the dimensions, but when you actually get your hands on it, it's way smaller than you thought. So usually what you're supposed to do is put rings on. What on earth is that? Bit of dirt. Now if you wanted to know how these things work, it's basically got something like a speaker that vibrates the water. The water shakes around and then it cleans everything off. That's how I understand it. I've never actually used one of these before, but I got myself sort of set up for it. And the first thing that I'm going to clean is going to be my glasses. Which, if you can't tell, there's like a little bit of dirt load around. I've tried to give these a proper clean, but it's just been too difficult. But as you can see, when you put them in there, they sort of just fit. What you're supposed to do is to put them in like that. So to begin with, we're going to do this. And then I'm going to try it with something else that's a little bit more what I want it for. So how about we fire this up? Now something I'm not too happy with is this this cable. It's probably standard, but it just, I mean, when you look under here, it definitely, the other thing is 35 watt. Anyway, plug it in. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Turn it off, unplug it. First thing I'm going to do is put my glasses in. And then I'm going to fill it with some water, which I've got here. Oh, nasty. Now there's a maximum line, but you've got to realize that it's not just water, but it's also this. So I sink that in there. I'm just going to go, that's enough water. Then I'm just going to take washing detergent, stuff I use when I'm doing the dishes. Just a little bit of squirt. I really wish I had a decibel meter for this, but oh well. Close it up, turn it on, and this is the part where I'm going to ask, do I need to wear ear protection? Let's find out. Probably not. water particles. Oh, it stopped. Cool. Stopped on its own. So before I plunge my hand in there, I'm going to turn this off. And everything I've got packed up here, which I shouldn't have, is starting to fall off. Probably should have showed you why I wanted to do this, but it looks like it's actually done a pretty good job cleaning up. Okay, so just quickly, there is still a little bit of dirt and stuff that's been building up in these glasses. So I'd suggest if you were going to do this, clean the lenses separately and then just put the frames in and yeah. Anyway, BRB again. Okay, so the whole purpose of me getting this is to clean things like these keys here. So a bit of a closer look, as you can see they're a bit, I think that's blood. That one probably got a bit of blood on it too. This one, I don't know. As I understand, you shouldn't actually overload these too much. So if I was to do a full keyboard, I'd probably do maybe 10, 15 keys at a time. So let's give this a go, shall we? Close the lid, turn it on. Alright, it's done. So let's take a look on the inside, shall we? See how it's done it. But before I stick my hand in there, I'm going to turn this off and unplug it. Last thing I need is an electric shock. Oh wow. Okay, that's a different. So just straight out of the water. Number 5. And number 4. So they've still got a little bit of like mud on them, but still look a little muddy. But that is completely different. Wow. Oh shit. Oh, I am so glad I bought this thing. Wish I had a much bigger one. Ugh. Wow, I mean, just having to wipe this off. Ooh. Man, these look almost new. Wow. Yeah. This is probably going to end up being my toy. Well, for like small things. Honestly, this would be a nice size. I've seen ones that are a lot smaller that are far cheaper. I don't think so. Now this is pretty good size. Man, I'm glad I bought this thing. Now I'm trying to figure out how on earth I'm supposed to get the water out of this thing without getting into the electronics. Yeah. Okay, so I like how it does, I just don't like the lip. Oh, the lip looks like it's sealed. So if you are going to be emptying this, don't put this into something like the kitchen sink. Like the laundry sink, for instance, as long as you don't use it to soak anything. I mean, I don't use mine to soak anything, so I just, if something's unhealthy, I generally tip it down there instead of the kitchen sink where you put your food to wash it. Well, at least I do. I don't know about you, but wow, that's different. So I'll just have to let those dry for a while, but those keys look a lot better now than this keyboard. I should try to do some more. There are 2 more I want to get of this. One that's going to be big enough for me to fit a full-size keyboard and deep enough for me to fit an entire laptop plus more. And there's another one I want to get that I'd be able to submerge an entire glass into. And then, I want to be able to use that for the kitchen to clean things like knives and forks, some light utensils, although I probably need something bigger than anyway. Long-term plan is to get 2 more of these, but a lot bigger, not this small. I mean, this is just, yeah. Now the other ones I also want to get would be what's referred to as a sweeping frequency. So instead of this being set at whatever hertz it vibrates the water at, it changes it. As I've found that's supposed, well, from what I've learned online, that's supposed to help clean things like electronics. You could technically do electronics with this if you wanted to, but you'd want to take the proper procedure. And then you'd also want to go over it with a microscope to make sure that, well, yeah. Anyway, that's this video. I am somewhat happy with this, but I wish it could be just, you know, like a little drainage thing or something. That. Anyway, yibbida yibbida.